say like this. We're not talking about the parasha, we're talking about the current events. For a long time, too long time, for thousands of years actually, we, Yidden, have been experiencing mainly hardships, difficulties, persecution, so that we became accustomed to this state of affairs. We have all the right psukim and Amori Chazal that we pull out in order to deal with these kind of challenges. We actually became pretty good at it. But experiencing good things, especially very good things, became, how shall I say, outside of our comfort zone. We don't know how to explain why good things happen to good people. So I see people that are kind of confused, not knowing what to make out of the spectacular victories of the last few days that hopefully dramatically improved the safety of the Roiv Minyan or Binyan of Klal Yisrael that lives in Eretz Yisrael. Obviously, I'm not a major authority on this, like on any other matter. But nevertheless, I want to humbly share with you some thoughts. So let me begin with a parsha in the Torah, in Parshas Eikev, on the verge of Klal Yisrael's entry into Eretz Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu describes what life was like during the journey in the Midbar, being surrounded by Anani HaKovid, eating mon that fell from heaven, being and everything else, all the miracles that we experienced in the Midbar. But he tells us that from now things are about to change, and in Eretz Yisrael we will be operating within the laws of nature. We'll be plowing, we'll be sowing, we'll be reaping, and so on. And then he says, pen tishkach es Hashem Elokecha, pen toichal v'sava'ota, uvotim toivim tivne v'yoshovta, ubekorcha v'tzoincha yirbiyun, v'chesef v'zohov yirbeloch, v'chol hashelecha yirbe, v'shachachta es Hashem Elokecha, v'goyim. In other words, now that they'll be fending for themselves, there's a concern that they might lose their connection with the Rebbeinu Shalom. As he goes on to say, "V'amarta bilvavecha, koichi v'oitzem yodi osoli esachayil hazeh." You might say in your heart, "My strength and the might of my hand made me all this wealth." V'zacharta es Hashem Elokecha ki hu hanoisein lecha koyach lasois choyil leman hakim es berisoy asher nishba la v'yisecha kayoyim hazeh. You should remember Hashem, your God, that it was He who gave you the strength to make wealth in order to establish the covenant that He made with our forefathers. So the pasuk doesn't say Ki hu hanoisen lecha choyil, that He gives you wealth. The pasuk says Ki hu hanoisen lecha koyach lasois chayil. He gives you the strength to make wealth. What does that mean? So the Ran, in Drashas Aran, in the beginning of the Drush HaAsiri, says, and I'm reading to you his Lashon, Rotza bozeh, ki im heyois sheha emes, sheyesh ba'ishim zgulois miyuchadois ledovar min hadvorim. People have a predisposition, they have particular talents, they have abilities, סגולויס מיוחדויס לדובר מדדבורם, כמו שיש אנשים מוכנים לקבל החוכמה. ואחרים מוכנים לושיס עצויס בנפשם לאסוי וליכנויס. Some people are industrious. People are talented in various ways. ולפי זה, continues the Ran, יהיה אמס בצד מה, it's true on a certain level that my strength and the might of my hand made me the wealth. Im kol zeh, im heyois shehakoyach hahu notua b'cho, zochor tizkor hakoyach hahu min esonoi b'cho, ume'ayin bo, Though it's true that you possess outstanding brain power or emotional strength and unique talents, and this enables you to acquire wealth. But you should remember who planted all this in you. Who gave you the brains? Who gave you the all the talents that you have? V'hu amoroi, says the Ran, v'zocharto as Hashem Elokecho ki hu hanoisen lecha koyach la'asos choil. Loi omar, v'zocharto ki Hashem Elokecho noisen lecha choil. Sheim kain, if he would say that, hoyomarchik shehakoyach hanatua ba'odom lo yiyeh siba emtsois ba'asifas rahoim. If he would say, hu hanoisen lecha koyach la'asos choil, he would be removing the intermediate siba, which actually played an important role in making the wealth, which is the koichi v'oitzim yadi. He doesn't want to say that it's not true. Ve'ein hadavar kain. Ulefichach omar ki im heyois, in spite of the fact shekoichach ha'oise es ha'chayil hazeh, tizkor noisein ha'koyach ha'hu yizborech. Yeah, we have to remember that Hashem is the one that gave us the talents with which we achieve whatever we achieve. So says the Ran. Now, the Abravanel, in his Pirush to Ekev, writes, B'zeh Aloshin, Koichi v'oitzim yodi, ba'avur she'avadati es ha'adama. I worked the land, b'koyach v'hishtadlus otzum, osali es ha'chayil hazeh, midogon, tiroish, tzoin, uvokor, umin b'chirosam, kinasti li chesef v'zohov, im kein hoyo mi koichi v'oitzim yodi. Says the Abravanel, v'hinei, Moshe Rabbeinu olav hashalom lo yirotza lahakchish hakdomasa me'inyan koicham. He didn't want to deny what they would be thinking, that it's their koyach. Aval oimer v'zacharto ki hu hanoisen l'cho koyach lasis chayil. Lefi she'eich yakchish koicham ba'avodas ha'adama v'hishtadlusam b'mikneim v'kinyonam. Because how can he deny it? V'hasibois ha'emtzo yois lo yinuchal hakchisham. We can't deny the intermediate causes. Kihine emes hachush. In other words, the chush, the intuition, the sense that it's my hishtadlus that brought about the result is true. Aval omar emesu she'atem sibol adover. It's true that you're the cause. Aval einchem ki im sibois ha'emtzoyos. You're not the primary cause. You're an intermediate cause. Because even though shebekoichom va'oitzem yetchem oso esachayil hazeh minosan lochem oisoi koyach va'oitzem yadu minosan lochem ha'oretz la'ovdo v'hamotor lizoro v'haruach lekotzro v'shar dvorim ha'echrechiyim ki im Hashem yizborach ha'yispoir ha'garzein al ha'choitzev boy. Could the axe take credit for what the person who's using the axe for accomplished? The person is moving the kli, and it's not the kli that's moving himself. And so also a person should realize that which means that our emunah doesn't ask us to believe the unbelievable. We're not asked to deny the chush that tells us what we're called on to know the truth. The Torah is not in competition with reality. The Torah wants us to recognize the real truth, that the koichi v'oitzim yodi is just the sibois emtzoyos. And the Rebbeinu Shalom is the Siba Rishona, Kihu Hanoisim L'Chokoyach Lasis Chayil. Now, to believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us the Chayil, gives us the wealth itself, not only it's not a Hidur mitzvah, the mitzvah of Emunah, and it's a unwarranted chumrah, and it also pushes away intelligent people from Emunah, and causes Yirei Shamayim to live in who really want to do the right thing and want to think the right thing, and it causes them to live with a split personality. I mean, it's like a Rabbi Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I mean, because in my compartment of Emunah, everything is coming from the Rebbeinu Shalom. But in my compartment of common sense, yeah, I know that a lot of what I accomplish has to do with my talents. So I compartmentalize and I feel guilty, and I feel uncomfortable with myself because I believe that I should be believing something that I'm not believing, or I think I'm believing. I talk myself into believing, but really this is bichlal not emunah. It's sheker. I mean, it's bichlal pesi yamin lechol dover. It's foolishness, and it's an insult to emunah. It's what we refer to as emunah's tfelos. The real emuna doesn't say that it's not koichi v'oitzim yodi osel yisachai lazeh. The real emuna accepts that koichi v'oitzim yodi osel yisachai lazeh. It just asks that v'zacharto ki hu v'zacharto es Hashem Elokecha ki hu hanoisein lecha koyach la'asois chayil. You're the oisach chayil, but he gives you the koyach la'asois chayil. Now the chayil in this pasuk is referring to wealth, as Onkelos is metargim nechsayo. And it's mavur from the Guf Apsukim. We're talking about Botim Toivim Tivne V'Yoshavta when we enter Eretz Yisrael. But it's pashut that it includes all human achievements. So that today, people use this pasuk in the chayil in the sense of military chayolim, soldiers. It's also true. Yeah, it's just that it's said that since they invented the term hashkofa, it became a substitute for avodas Hashem, and many terms were removed from the personal avodas Hashem, like that when a person is successful, he shouldn't say, he should be, he should know that and it's removed. It's moved into the public sphere. Yeah, so koichi v'oitzim yodi is like somebody else's problem, but that's another issue. But what I'm saying is, in any case, lately that we were zoichet to such spectacular victories on our enemies that are oimdim aleinu l'chaleseinu. I see people that have a conflict between the chiyuv of being thankful to the Rebbeinu Shalom for the tremendous chesed, and on the other hand, the amazement of the brilliance of our people. I mean, the brilliant planning and the genius. So there are Yirei Shamayim that they feel guilty about their thoughts and their feelings, right? So it's true that we're not shaykh to much more than emunah pshuta, simple faith, but emunah pshuta doesn't mean shallow faith, and a meaningless faith. There's absolutely no steer between koichi v'oitzim yodi asal yisachai lazeh. There's no contradiction between koichi v'oitzim yodi asal yisachai lazeh and the v'zacharto ki hu hanoisin l'cha koyach lasis chayil, like the Abravanel says, ki hine hachush emes. So we can recognize that the Rebbeinu Shalom, blessed Yidden with tremendous brilliance, and that plays a very important role in what we accomplished. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. The pasuk says, "Vayigash Yaakov vayogel es ha'even me'al pi ha'be'er." Rashi says, "Kimavir es ha'pkak me'al pi tzluchis lo hidiacho shekoichoi godol." The Welt asks, I mean, why do we need to know, and why are we interested that Yaakov Avinu was strong? I mean, so I heard from my Rebbe Rebel Soloveitchik, he said that it could be that this was really the kiyum of the Haftocha, that the Rebbeinu Shalom promised Yaakov Avinu, Ushmarticha b'chol asher telech. How was this Haftocha niskayim? Through giving him physical strength. And that's the lohidiacho shekoichoi godel, right? Okay, it's probably true that in this case, like in many other cases, beyond all the genius hishtadlus and investment, there were also many parts of the puzzle that needed to fall into place. And for that also we have to thank the Rebbeinu Shalom, even as direct intervention, but in general and in principle, we're permitted and we're also mechuyev to know the truth that koichi v'oitzim yodi osal yisachai lazeh Just that v'zacharta ki hu hanoisen l'cha koyach lasis choy. There's another point that needs to be made. You know, we live in a time of guzmois. We live in an era of hyperbole. I mean, the any typical balabos is a rabbi. I mean, an average Talmud Chacham is a goyen. Every askin is a bal mesiris nefesh. So we refer to many things that are within the laws of nature as nisim gluyim, l'maylo mederech hateva. The truth is that a nace has a very clear-cut halachic definition. You know that the Mishnah says in the beginning of the 9th parak in Brachos, ha'oiver b'mokim shenasa lo nace. Yeah, if you pass a place where you once experienced a nace, he has to make a bracha. Baruch she'asa li nace b'mokim hazeh. So what qualifies for nace? So in Shulchan Aruch and Siman Reish Yud Ches Sif Tes, the first opinion is Einoi mevarech al nace, elo b'nace shehu yoytze miminig ha'olam. Aval b'nace shehu miminig ha'olam, which we really say al nisecho shebchol yom imonu. Yeah, the Ramban says everything is nisim nistorm. B'nace shehu miminig ha'olam v'toldosoi, k'goyin shebo ganovim balayla uboli de sakona v'nitzo. And the Noisei Kalim say that it so happened that people passed by and the Ganovim escaped. The Kayoitze by Einechayev Levorach. Then the Shulchan Aruch brings another opinion of the Yesh Choylik. And the Shulchan Aruch's maskana is V'toiv Levorach B'loi Shem U'malchus. The Goyen Paskins in Gansen like the first opinion. I mean, this is all about Baruch She'oseli Nes, not about Hagoy Melech Hayovim Toivois Shigmolani Kol Toiv, that it doesn't have to be a Nes. But for the bracha of Baruch She'oseli Nes, it has to be a Nes, and the first opinion that most boys can paskin like is that it's only a Nes that's Yotzim in Hoger Shaloilam, and that is Lamoshel, like the Gemara tells us about somebody that was going in the midbar, and he was about to die of thirst, and a mayon was created in front of him. That's called a nes that's yoytze mimin hogoy shel oilam, that you make a bracha of Baruch She'oseli Nes. You know, hoyed b'sakonas misamach masoma v'israchish leinisse v'nofak leimayon mayon. That's considered a nes. The Mishnah Berurah says that even according to the second opinion, that says that it doesn't have to be a nes hayoytze mimin hogoy shel oilam in ganzen. He says that it's yitochen that if a rock falls samuch l'roishoy, or nitka barzel samuch le'enoi, v'loi nitka ha-barzel be'enoi, it missed my eye by a millimeter. Rak shehoya koroiv l'sakona, ein ze nechshiv nes klal l'vorech olav. Yeah, so we need to know that what we're talking about over here is not nisim gluyim shemichutz l'derech hateva. First of all, because we paskin like the day of Rishona, and second of all, because it's talking that even according to the day of Shnia, only if you were just korev l'sakona, it's not considered a hatzola shel nes. So you know why is this so important? Why is this so important? I mean, I say like this: if a person, let's say, believes that Hashem gave him his wealth directly, and he ignores the sibois emtsoyos. He says that Hashem is not only a sachayil azeh, and not only the koyach las chayil. No, it's not such a terrible. It's not dangerous. But in a case like this, if we talk about nisim, there's a very serious problem because it removes the chiyuv of hakaras hatoiv. I mean, if I defaulted on my mortgage payments and they're about to take my house away, and somebody comes and he gives me the money, or he lends me the money, and I say, "Wow, that's a nice." I mean, so that's a terrible thing because I mean, it's a nice means I owe you nothing. I'm not thankful to you, Bichlal. You're like just a shliach, right? So the talking, and maybe you're not even a shliach. If it wouldn't be you, it'd be somebody else. I mean, because I have a direct line with the Rebbeinu Shalom who's helping me. And you're like insignificant and meaningless, and therefore I have no hakaras hatov to you. If I was sick and a doctor saved my life with much effort, I say it's a nes, and memela I don't owe any hakaras hatov to the doctor. So what I'm saying is that there is a chiyuv hakaras hatoiv to the sibus and tzoyos, and Memela, we need to have hakaras hatoiv for all those that invested tremendous efforts on all the levels. I mean, militarily and above that, and especially those that put their lives in danger, that brought about this hatzalah. Yeah, so somebody that's not makeh toiv is kol ha-koifer b'toivosoi shel basar v'dam lebesoif koifer b'toivosoi shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I mean, hakaras hatoiv is a core value in Yiddishkeit, and therefore it's very important not to talk about nisim, but to talk about hakaras hatoiv. Now, there's another important point. Over there in Parshas Eikev, right after the pasuk says, the Torah continues and says, Shema Yisrael, Ata oiver es hayarden, lovoi lo reshes goyim gedolim va'atzumim mimeko, orim gedolos, uvitzuros, etc. Am godol v'rov, b'nei anokim, v'goymer, v'yodato hayoim, ki Hashem Elokecha hu ha'oiver lefanecha, eish oich lahu, hu yashmidem, v'hu yachniim lefanecha, v'goymer. Al toimar bilvavcha bahadoif Hashem Elokecha oisam ufanecha leimor b'tzivkosi heviani Hashem lo reshes esoretz asois. It's because of my righteousness, Hashem brought me to drive out these the goyim from this land. Uberishas hagoyim ha'ela Hashem orisho miponecha loy b'tzivkoscho b'yoshel uvecha. It's not because of your righteousness or the uprightness of your heart. Atobolo reshes esatzam. Ki berishas hagoyim ha'ela Hashem Elokecha morisho miponecha uleman hokim es hadova shenishba Hashem la'avoisecha l'Avram liYitzchak liYaakov. So the Ran in the hemshech of that drasha Yud, says that over here it doesn't say that you'll say koichi voitzim yodi, because we're talking about goyim gedolim v'atzumim. And Moshe Rabbeinu says ve'eni mesupak. I'm not worried that that you're going to think that you were stronger than that, because it's obvious that they're stronger than you. You'll know that Hashem Yisborach did it. I'm worried about something else. That it's not true that the Rebbeinu Shalom knocked them out and it wasn't with your koyach, but you're going to think you'll attribute it to yourself. And he says, Ki miteva geus ha'odam v'rum levavoy ha'mesalef moyatzoisov. A person has an inherent gaiva and rum levov that fadres his cup, and that causes him liyaches hatzlochoisov la'atzmoi b'tzad me'atzdodin. He takes credit b'tzad me'atzdodin. U'kshehem b'dvorim tluyim b'kinyin v'chochme v'tuv ha'itzo choyshev ki chochmasoi oses omdoloi, and he doesn't realize ki hu hanois l'chakoyach lasis choyach. U'kshehem b'inyin shehu roya kiniz givu mikoychem atzos, if it's something that is above and beyond and he can't take credit for it in the simple sense. So then, miyaches oisom l'schusoi. He says, because of my merit. Yeah, v'lechein omar b'kibush hagoyim ha'elo ha'atzumim asher nivtziro mimenu mizimoscha v'koichacha yorei ani. I'm afraid pentiyachis hadavar l'tzivkoscha. And I'm telling you, lo yisasekein. Ki am kshei orevata. Umitzad schuscha lo yitiyeh roi lezeh. Ki hirbeisem lachtoi v'lamrois einei kvoid Hashem Yisborach. So, kibush ha'oretz is berishas hagoyim ha'ela, and it's mitzad the shvua asher nishbati la'avosecha. But don't think it's because of how great you are. It's not your schus. It's not your righteousness. Now, we could have learned that this is only a statement about the kibush oretz at that time. But in the Shari Tshuva, the Rabbeinu Yoin, it's mavur that this is a lav that's like in all times. In the Shari Tshuva, in the Shari Shlishi, he has a whole long list of lavin, right? And in Chof Tes, he says, Al toimar bilvovcha, b'hadoif Hashem Elokecha oisam ufanecha, leimer bitzit kosi, whose harnu bozeh, sheloi nedame benafshenu, we shouldn't think ki hatzlochoseinu bitzit koseinu, that our successes are a consequence of our righteousness, ubeyoshel of avenu. Avol namin v'neida im levavenu, ki hatzlachosenu mi chesed elyon v'rav tuvoy. It's a chesed from the Rebbeinu Shalom, and it's his kindness and goodness, and it has nothing to do with my madrege. Uke'inyan she'amar Yaakov Avinu olav Shalom katointi mikol hachasodim umikol ha'emes. So you see, it's a lav d'oraisa that's noig b'chol zman. Not only with regards to nisim gluyin, but even in any success that a person succeeds, he shouldn't think that it's because of his schus, but he should see it as a chesed chinam. It could be that that's why in the Birchas Hagoyim when we say Hagoyim lechayovim toivois shegmolani kol toiv, in order to emphasize that I don't consider myself somebody that's ra'ui for what Hakadosh Baruch Hu did for me, and so therefore I say that anybody that thinks or says that the great successes in this war came, let's say, in the schus of the Loin Day Torah, is over on a lav d'oraisa. Yeah, because that's mamish what the pasuk says. That you shouldn't say bitzit koscho b'yoshel levavecha. And the Rabbeinu Yoina says that it's a lav b'chol adoris on any success, whether it's miraculous or it's less than miraculous, it doesn't matter. Any success has to be attributed to the Rebbeinu Shalom as a chesed chinom. Yeah, it's all rachmei shamayim and chazdei shamayim, and that's what we should be mishabeach and moide for, and continue to do the right thing. You know, it's kind of Yiddishkeit is very demanding. I mean, the pshat is there's no easy simple path. I mean, on one hand, it's koichi voitzim yodi, but v'zachatz as Hashem aleikecha ki hu anois l'cho koich lasis chayil. On the other hand, it's lebitzim koscho b'yoshel levavecha. But the truth must be told, and even if it's sometimes a bit complex and not so understood to the full-minded. Okay, Rabbi Say, I want to wish you all a good Shabbos.